Well, we're in the final days of the Chinese New Year. Here is Leslie Sbrocco with a taste of the culinary traditions of the celebration on Food and Wine this week.
The Spring Festival marking the Lunar New Year has been celebrated for more than 4,000 years. The Chinese New Year festivities began on February 14th and culminate on Saturday the 27th with a spectacular parade in San Francisco. This week, Tran and Stephanie Im, two bloggers from KQED's Bay Area Bites, join me to reflect on some old and some new traditions and tell us how living in Northern California influences how they celebrate. Traditional celebrations of the Lunar New Year include lion dances and red envelopes. Local restaurants become gathering places for multi-generational banquets. Special foods, sharing, and unique dishes mark the occasion. In markets, ingredients are chosen carefully. Flowers, oranges, tangerines, and kumquat trees, painted signs and lanterns, all leading to the last day when the dragon snakes its way through San Francisco to welcome the Year of the Tiger. Now, Stephanie, it's been a couple of years since you've moved from the East Coast here to San Francisco. How have your traditions of the way you celebrate Chinese New Year changed?
Well, you know, for me, Chinese New Year is always about really family and togetherness and really spending time with the people that you love. It's also very much about the food. It's always about the food. So,
well, of course, that's why we have some here on the table.
Tons of food. Right. And the foods are really special because they have certain symbolic meanings, and so they're supposed to bring good luck into your home for the new year. So I've taken some of these traditions, like, for example, my mom used to tell me this story about how she would sit at home for New Year's Eve with her sisters and her mom, and they would make dumplings growing up, and they would have a little assembly line, and one sister would roll out the dough, the other one would stuff them, and the other one would roll them really, really round.
It reminds me of my Italian family with raviolis.
Exactly. They put everyone to work. So. So I put everyone to work too in my house. So I have all my friends come over, and we make dumplings as well. We make savory dumplings. So that's been a way for me to really bring my friends into my family here in San Francisco and share that experience with them.
And do you have any new dishes that you make? Anything that because it's about color, and it's about
color, and red is a very auspicious color in general in Chinese culture. So there is one dish that my friends really loved last year. I made these orange sliced Jello shots, and those were a hit. So
I have to get the recipe from you.
Yeah, I'll send them over to you.
And what about you, T? The same feeling? I mean, it's about celebrating your ancestors and your family.
Absolutely about family, and those same images of my mother and my aunts cooking together, making foods. And when I was growing up, my mother would teach me how to make the rice cakes. I'm from Vietnam, and so we celebrate Lunar New Year, and we call it that. And so this is from southern Vietnam, and it's sticky rice cakes, which you see in lots of different forms throughout Asia.
And what's inside that sticky rice cake?
This version has mung beans, which is the yellow filling, and then lots of nice fatty pork.
Oh, because And what's the difference between, let's say, Vietnam and northern China and southern China in terms of the cuisine for celebrating New Year's?
Although we're celebrating very similar holidays, there are lots of regional variations. And in northern China, they're the dumplings, which I think, Stephanie, we're referring to the savory wheat dumplings. And in the south, there's a vegetarian dish called jai, because you don't want to start the new year taking a life. And so there's this,
it has lots of vegetables.
Right, it has lots of auspicious ingredients. And then in Vietnam, we have the rice cakes. And in southern China, you also have a version of a sticky rice cake, but without the fillings.
But this is Vietnamese.
Yes, yes.
And let's talk about the food on the table, because you do mention things are auspicious, have a meaning, represent something, and that's true throughout the new year. You know, each day represents something different as well.
Exactly.
So let's talk about some of the food that you brought, because this is your sweet platter?
Yes. So I married in a Cantonese family, and this is something when the holiday families go and visit each other, and friends come, and you have it's a season of just lots and lots of food, and especially sweets. And all of these have particular symbolic wishes for health and fortune and happiness and abundance. And some of my favorites are the candied ginger.
And ginger right there.
Right, and then there's all kinds of seeds. And then we have some lotus root there too.
Oh, that's wonderful. And what about, Stephanie, what about the tangerines? Because the tangerines have the stem on them and the leaves.
Exactly. So with the stems and the leaves, it symbolizes strong relationships and strong bonds throughout the year. And the color of them, resembles gold. And so they're supposed to bring in a lot of wealth and good fortune, for the coming year.
And what about you see lots of flowers, especially
yes,
like
those
red
gladiolas,
right.
exactly. So of course red is that lucky color again,
right.
and gladiolas in particular are really good luck, because you'll see the blossoms actually bloom in levels going up, and so they resemble the steps to success, essentially.
And you need to, when you go to visit somebody's home, do you bring a living plant? Is that the goal? You bring something?
Yes, there's always something living and blooming, and
right.
to bring freshness and life and into the home and into
right.
the business. So.
Right. And what about red? My question to you is the color red.
Oh, right. People think of red as a lucky color, and it is in certain weddings, and you'll see
right.
that. But in the old days, there's this thought that demons would come around this time,
right.
and this particular demon was afraid of blood. And
so
loud,
I thought it might have something
right,
to do
and
with
loud noises, which is
right.
why we have all these fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
So to keep the demon away, you put red everywhere.
Right.
And now it just means good luck.
And now it means good luck.
Right.
Well, it is the year of the tiger, hence, hence my tiger here.
Yes.
So what can people do in San Francisco to celebrate and join in the fun?
It's been wonderful living in San Francisco because it's come from not only a family celebration, but
right.
the whole city
right.
celebrates.
Right.
And so you can go down and see the parade in Chinatown, and there's a street festival and lots of great food.
And I thought it was interesting that really parades are not as common in Asia, for example. It's something that really started here in San Francisco.
That's a really good point. It's sojourners here in the late 1800s who were working on the farms and the railroad, were homesick, and so they had a special silk dragon made in China and brought here, and then they got together and celebrated, and just really took off, became very popular, and now we're known for this beautiful dragon parade.
And it's certainly, if not the largest, one of the largest outside of China.
Yeah.
I think it's the largest.
I think it's the largest,
Are you planning on going?
Yes, as soon as we're done with the dumplings, we're going to the parade.
That's
we'll
fantastic. That's fantastic. All right. Well, thank you both for being with me. If you'd like to attend the Chinese New Year Parade, it's in San Francisco on Saturday, February 27th from 5:15 p.m. to 8 p.m. It begins on Market and 2nd Streets and travels to Kearny and Jackson. And I have to say, it's really fun, so bring the whole family. Thank you both for joining me. You can find recipes and a lot more from Stephanie Im and Tran at kqed.org/Bay Area Bites, or watch Check Please Bay Area at kqed.org/Check Please. So Happy New Year, or Gung Hei Fat Choi, right?
Gung Hei Fat Choi.
I said that right, huh?